At 1:04 p.m. on January 17, 2015, Apple Valley Police Sergeant Greg Dahlstrom arrived at the crime scene. There he saw Colin Prochnow standing in Lorraine Tuppy's driveway. Mr. Prochnow approached the officer, stating there were 3 bodies in the living room of the Crowley home. Sergeant Dahlstrom then approached the front window and looked inside the residence. "I noticed several obviously dead bodies lying on the floor near the front picture window," Sergeant Dahlstrom wrote in his supplemental report. "I noticed a black handgun on the floor as well. Lastly, I noticed a medium-sized dog barking and running among the bodies. I advised dispatch of my findings," Sergeant Dahlstrom continued, "and requested the channel be restricted to emergency traffic." Officer Tara Becker was the second responder to arrive at the crime scene. Sergeant Dahlstrom advised me that there were in fact 3 deceased parties that could be seen from the large picture window at the front of the residence. Officer Becker did not report seeing the bodies in any of her supplemental reports we received. Officer John Broten arrived third. While all 3 officers were standing on the west side of the house, they could smell the odor of decaying bodies. Officer Broten was the first officer to check the back of the house. "I was instructed to check the rear of the residence for any signs of forced entry," Broten documented. "The backyard is fenced in with a chain-link fence, and the gates were closed but not locked." Officer Broten entered the backyard and saw fresh animal tracks in the snow. Signs of forced entry were not found on any backyard windows, but there was an open door. "The rear sliding patio door was found open slightly 1/4 inch," wrote Broten. "I opened the door and found that it was not locked or secured with the bar lock." Paleo continued to bark as Broten opened the rear slider. "When I opened the patio door, there was an overpowering odor of decaying flesh. One light was on in the dining room," Broten continued. "The Christmas tree lights and other strings of Christmas tree lights were still on." After walking around the back of the house, Officer Broten looked through the front window and saw 3 bodies on the living room floor. "They were all badly decomposed," Broten wrote in his report. One adult body was laying on its back with a black semi-auto pistol nearby. The second adult body appeared to be laying on its stomach and/or side. Between 2 adult bodies was the body of a small child.